The final day of the NBA regular season had to have been one of the weirdest days in NBA history. NBA season finales usually are always pretty wild, but on April 9th, the NBA was a different league. From two different teams fighting their own teammates to Udonis Haslem dropping 24 points in a win. Do I need to say more? All the teams that had locked in playoff spots sat their stars, so we got to see a lot of players hoop that we haven't seen in a while. But first, let's start off with those two fights, because those are the most interesting, mainly because both fights happened between teammates and both teams are in the playoffs. The Rudy Gobert-Kyle Anderson fight was just comedy, from seeing the fight happen to hearing all the words that came out after it. Rudy threw that little punch and then immediately got up out of there. Somehow I really didn't notice this until someone pointed it out on Twitter, but watch Taurean Prince's reaction. Once Gobert throws that punch, he doesn't break up the fight, he shoves Rudy Gobert, immediately backing Kyle Anderson. He could be just defending his teammate that got punched, but who knows. And to top it off with the soap opera Timberwolves, in the exact same game, one of their best defenders in Jaden McDaniels learned from Rudy Gobert but took it out on a wall. But at the end of the day, the wall definitely won because Jaden McDaniels broke his hand from that punch. He knew it right away too. Watch him immediately grab his hand in major regret. The Clippers fight wasn't as bad, but it looked like it was about to be. I don't know what Mason Plumlee screamed at Bones Highland, but they got right in each other's face. Highland pushed Mason out the way and kept talking, but that's as far as it went. Also, both teams still won, so clearly it didn't matter. But let's talk about that Warriors game for a second. The fact that they scored an NBA record 55 points in the first quarter against the Dame Failers is absurd, but going on to win the game by 50 is just the cherry on top. This is why you can never count out the Warriors, and of course the Blazers go out like that. Moving on to the Grizzlies OKC game, G League Rookie of the Year Kenneth Lofton Jr. put up one of the highest point totals of the night with 42 points, 14 rebounds, and not a single assist. He's actually a pretty solid passer, so 0 assists is kinda wild, but he still had an amazing game. He's Zion without the major athleticism, which sounds horrible, but I promise you it's not. But I think the craziest part about that whole game is that the Grizzlies played with just 6 players. Rookie Vince Williams Jr., yeah, he played the entire game. He didn't sit once. The most amount of minutes he's ever played in a game was 7, and in this one he played 48. He played more minutes in this one game than he did the entire season combined. And he was able to capitalize on that playing time by shooting 1 for 14 from 3. Peyton Pritchard had a 30-point triple-double, which was a surprise to a lot of people, not including me. Pritchard's a dog and could start on a lot of teams in the NBA. But he wasn't the only surprising triple-double. Trey Mann had his first career triple-double in that Grizzlies game. But Theo Pinson, he averages 2.7 points in his career and had a 20-point triple-double against the Spurs. He had 23 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists. He did all of that without a single turnover. I don't have much to say about the Lakers game, but Bron scoring 36 heading into the playoffs doesn't surprise me. But shooting 8 for 14 from 3 after being in a shooting slump is hilarious. There's nothing funnier than LeBron feeling it from 3, cause he'll take heat check shots like he's Steph Curry. Mr. Give and Give Up 40 points Cam Thomas scored yet another 46 points in a loss. We can say what we want, but he is a bona fide scorer. Even if that means shooting the ball when you got an open teammate. Is that bad basketball or is that the Mamba mentality? Dunk champion Mac McClung got his first real minutes with the 76ers and actually took advantage by putting up a stat line of 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. In his first real minutes of the NBA season, on the last game of the season, he almost gets a triple-double. Even Saben Lee had a career-high 25 points and had 10 assists to top it off. Killian Hayes played exactly how everybody thought he was going to play originally and scored 26 points with 8 rebounds and 7 assists. I know I already mentioned this, but we have to take a second and appreciate Udonis Haslem's retirement game. Haslem went out like a WWE legend. Who thought Udonis Haslem in the year 2023 still had an efficient 24-point game still in him? The way they talk about him in the media, I was surprised he made it up and down the court. He hasn't gotten real minutes since 2015. It was honestly a great way to cap off one of the most accomplished 7.5 points a game careers of all time. In the same day of all the craziness, Mikal Bridges would go on to play his 83rd game of the season. Yes, 83 games by a single player in one season. Some players are mad about not being able to win an award unless you play a certain amount of games, and other players like Mikal are picking up overtime. Okay, well, he didn't actually play, he checked in for 4 seconds, which could be seen as cheap, but come on now, that's awesome. He's played 392 games in a row. 392 games in a row. Anthony Davis better be taking notes. James Harden will also be going into the playoffs for the 14th year in a row. In his entire career, Harden has still never missed the playoffs. I don't think this much interesting stuff has ever happened in a single regular season day ever. It was like the last day of school where everybody just lets loose. It also helped that every team in the NBA played on the same day and almost at the same time, so everything was going on simultaneously. But it's officially the end of the regular season and we're finally heading to the playoffs. Well, the play-in first. I still don't know how I feel about it. I'm on the road to 1,000 subs, so do your daily due diligence and hit that subscribe button. Also, comment down below if I missed anything. So much stuff happened, I had to have. Alright, I'm out.